Welcome to the Not My Scene podcast, the podcast where we explore different scenes, communities, subcultures, and corners of the internet and tell you what we find. I'm Yarden.
And I'm Kaya.
Episodes every other Tuesday. Follow us wherever you're listening on Spotify or Apple. It helps us out a lot if you rate/review us as well and share with a friend. So what has your scene been?
My scene this week is kind of a little silly. I think this is the kind of thing that you normally hear on a podcast as the consequence of people getting paid to talk about it. But I'm doing this for free. Although, if you guys want to sponsor us, let me know because I'm a big fan. I'm going to promote you for free. I guess you have no reason to ever pay me for this now. But I am here to talk about Element salty watermelon electrolytes. Delicious. I would talk about these for free forever. I pay them to drink these and I'm obsessed. And it doesn't matter if you are an ultra marathoner or if you sweat at all or if you live a completely sedentary lifestyle. These are the most delicious things. It doesn't matter if you're adding soy sauce to every meal like I already am. I love Element electrolyte drink mix. Element, LMNT. This is the element of life. And I have one every day. I only have half because, I will say this is incredibly salty. You only need half and it still tastes exactly like the sour watermelon Sour Patch gummies. They're
but with
so
a
good.
Bunch of salt on them.
Yeah, it's like those, but saltier. But they also taste sour because they're so salty.
Well, those aren't salty at all.
Maybe I'm just confusing salt with sour. But if you like those and you like salty food, get yourself a pack of these. They're so freaking yummy. I don't know if you guys can hear my mouth.
You're salivating.
Filling with saliva as I'm talking. I want to open this so bad. It just cures this like the sour gummy itch. So yummy. I love them so much. It's kind of like, you know how Fruit Riot isn't like necessarily yummy, but it does make you not want to eat candy.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, so that wasn't that good.
Well, you're like, that wasn't that good, but also like, ooh, you know, like,
yeah.
So it's like that. It's like, whew, but I actually think it's really yummy. I think that they're intended for like ultra athletes because they have 1,000 milligrams of sodium in them. But
I'm a little concerned.
About my sodium intake?
Yeah, like if you're having that much sodium and not sweating it out.
Okay, well, no. I was just trying to be accessible. I'm sweating a lot because I am a hot yoga and hot Pilates girl now. So I only have these on the days that I do that. But humble flex, it's a lot of the days of the week. And
let's go.
I just don't want to I don't want it to be exclusive. I want everyone to have the deliciousness of this, even if they're not sweating. I think everyone can have them. Only drink half, so then it's only 500 milligrams of sodium. This is medical advice. You can drink this if you want. It's so yummy. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what it's doing for my body. All I know, I will say, maybe I'm having like triple the amount of sodium I'm supposed to have every day, but I'm eating less candy because it's so yummy.
So you're having it for taste, or are you having it like because you've been doing more hot yoga and stuff?
Yeah, originally it was because I've been doing more hot yoga and I feel like it helps with not getting headaches after practicing, but now I'm having it for taste. Like I crave this stuff. It's like I go to hot yoga because I want to have an excuse to get to drink my yummy sour watermelon drink.
Like you start salivating when you walk into hot yoga. The Pavlovian response.
Exactly. You don't try this if you don't like salty foods. And I don't want anyone to be in our DMs like, oh, I bought it and it was so salty. Yeah, it's called watermelon salt. It's salty.
Is it very sweet?
It's like sweet, but I can't really comment on that because it's just so salty. It just tastes exactly like those watermelon candies, but salty.
It's like those candies, but if the outside instead of sugar was salt.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yummy.
That does sound
yummy,
good.
Yummy. So that's my scene. Element, we love you. Salty.
Send us product.
Yeah, this is such a like. I know it sounds. This is how you guys can really trust it, because this is the kind of thing that should be sponsored and it's not. So delicious, yummy. Thanks. Shout out to Scenester Sister Charlotte for.
Except for I feel like the
introducing.
way you're promoting it is not how they want, because it's like really salty. This is really salty, guys. I don't know if it's for everyone.
What's your scene this week, Dan?
Okay, my scene has been Survivor Edgic. Do you know what that is?
No, wait, edgic. Like, it sounds like edX, like like TED Talk education. What is edgic? Survivor edgic.
It's editing logic. So it's a subreddit dedicated to the discussion of like figuring out how different contestants are going to do based on the edit.
Okay, so this is like people took that thing, because I've seen before where it's like, oh, people will keep track of the number of confessionals that each player has. That. But this is like a whole Reddit about it.
Yeah, it's so nerdy. It's so funny. I think I've talked about this like a little bit before, but like I love reality shows and I love like the meta stuff of it. Mm-hmm. Like I love in like, you know, like Housewives or something, like thinking about, so like how much was production like interfering with that scene? And right. I feel like with Survivor, and like I could be really wrong, like obviously production has a big role because they like control like the rules of the game and what twists there are, but I feel like there's not like a ton of production interference in terms of like their interactions. Like they're not saying like, oh, I think that person's talking about you, like you should go over there. But right. There is a lot that's done in terms of post-production, like in terms of the edit. So I think that's really interesting. And it's so funny to me because I was a little worried when I first got into it that it would be like too much of a spoiler for me, like that people would be like so tapped in that I would just like know what's going to happen if I started reading it. But I've basically seen like almost every name as like a potential winner. There's definitely like one or two that come up a lot, like more than others. But it is just funny because people can literally justify like any take. Like they'll be like, oh, well, Christian's overexposed, so he's probably not the winner. But on the other hand, like it could be a coronation edit.
What is that?
Which is like when they're just like coronating someone, like, yes, we're going to make this like super obvious and like super satisfying. Like this person just always has been the winner, and here it's a celebration of this person.
I kind of feel like I'm sure that the edgic Reddit has opinions on this, but I imagine that like 9 times out of 10 it's not like a red herring when someone is getting a lot of like, I feel like whenever I try to make like guesses based on things like that and like meta analyze this kind of thing, it's like, oh no, like it was the person who just like had the most confessionals, and like I don't know.
Not really. With Survivor. And there's also a lot of gendered stuff. Like a lot of times in the past when it's been a woman who's won, like they do not get the most confessionals. And it's more like centered around a guy that got really far and like why he didn't win. Which sucks. So like that's why like a lot of times
a story of male loss versus a story of female victory.
Yeah. So that's why like a lot of times when it's a female winner, people will be like, that seemed weird, like she didn't deserve to win. But it could just be how they're editing it.
And yeah, that's like so frustrating too. It's like, oh, this was a totally undeserved win, but like the editors just didn't give it to them.
Yeah, totally. So
interesting.
That's something.
So have you been like contributing, or
no? I haven't contributed yet. I'm scared.
Okay.
Well, I also don't know that I have like any original takes. People also have like built like tools around it. This one person has like this Excel like thing he's built that he calls, or it could be a woman, I don't know who built it. They built this tool called the Oracle, and every week they're like, okay, this is the Oracle's rankings of potential winners based on like the new data we have.
Interesting. How did you get into this?
Just scrolling Reddit a lot, and I'd heard of
Okay.
it. Like I had a friend, I remember a few years ago when we were doing the Survivor Fantasy League. Shout out Callie. She was like always picking correctly like every week with who would get voted out, and she was like, "Sorry, I'm just like really on like Edgic Reddit." And I was like,
That's such a funny apology. Sorry, I'm just using tools that enhance my ability to do better here. Sorry, I ran faster. I am taking steroids.
I will say, as a viewer, I like a really straightforward, like almost coronation edit for the winner. Like, I like when it's really satisfying, and I feel like it was well deserved.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I don't know. It's funny to me that they wouldn't, like, when I think about the base demographic of Survivor watchers, I wouldn't be like, yeah, like they want it to feel confusing and they want to be challenged when they, like, that's not what I go to reality TV for.
Well,
but it's so interesting how people interpret things so differently. Like, okay, well, like, for example, I feel like on Traitors, they gave us a coronation edit for Rob.
yes, totally.
And then there was like such dissonance with the reunion with like Candace being so mad.
Yeah, and you're like,
When
well,
it was
as a
like,
viewer, it seemed like he was
I
running
just
away
watched-
with it.
I just watched a king receive his crown. Like, why are you
Yes.
mad?
I want to be like rooting for the person. Like, I want to be at the end and be like, oh my God, like, yes, they deserved it. But also, like, you
Right.
want some suspense.
Survivor Edgic. I'm interested.
Edgic.
I don't know.
Edgic.
Oh. Edgic.
Like logic.
Edgic. Like Edgic. It's Edgic. Like Edgic.
Well, you keep saying eject.
Eject. Survivor eject. All right. Should we talk about what we're talking about today?
Yeah.
67. It's up to about 75 and 73. She didn't call 73. I did not call 73. 75's been called. 73 has not. 65. Bingo! Now here's a couple of bingos.
B-I-N-G-O.
B-I-N-G-O. B-I-N-G-O.
And bingo.
It was his name. Bingo! Emma loves bingo! Maybe they will hear it. Let the listeners hear my excellent Elmo impression. Olive is sitting next to me and her ears just went so flat. She hates it.
Okay, so bingo, I feel like this is something that probably almost all of our listeners know what it is, but we should give just like a quick description.
Yeah.
So bingo
all right,
is
tell
a
the
game.
listeners what bingo is.
Bingo is a game of chance, a game of chance where you have a 5x5 card with the letters B-I-N-G-O at the top, and then in each column there are different numbers, and then a ball will be dropped or some other like randomization to signify to the caller what the number is. So it'll be like B12 or whatever. That's a vitamin.
Mm-hmm.
And then the caller will call the number. If you have a 12 in your B column, you can mark that. And there will be different patterns that you are trying to fill. Initially, I thought it was always just like a vertical line or a horizontal line or maybe a diagonal. And if you get all of them on your card, then you win. But I learned when I went to bingo that there are actually all different types of patterns. It's played in lots of different communities, like oftentimes in big halls, like
oftentimes in retirement homes.
Yeah. sometimes in bars. I think you saw like a reel or something of a girl playing bingo is how we got curious about this.
Yeah, there was like a young hot girl who was like, I play bingo every week. And I was like, oh, I didn't really know that that was so much of a thing in the young hot women community.
And also,
And that's
like,
what sparked our interest.
I feel like what was striking about it to me was like her whole setup, because I'd never really seen someone
Yeah.
like play bingo in an official like, capacity. Like, I feel like prior to this, I had only played like in like elementary school. Or, you know, when it'll be like icebreaker bingo and it's like find
Right.
someone with a weird hobby, you know?
Which is like the worst kind of bingo to play. And there's like you're never getting money for icebreaker bingo. So immediately, like, it's a lot less fun because the
Yeah.
incentives are like, the incentive is just to like fit in at your new job.
Right. But yeah, it was like a reel of like a baddie with her whole setup, and it looked like, I don't know, it looked more complicated than I thought.
Yeah, it was like a whole operation. So that's what piqued our
Yeah.
interest. I definitely previously associated bingo with like specifically retirement communities. And I just like hadn't given it that much thought other than like maybe thinking about it as like a kind of low mental effort activity, which I think is very much not the case depending on how you're playing bingo.
Yeah.
But I want to hear what your experience was like in person, or should I go first?
Do you want to tell me like, yeah, what your prior
Okay, yeah, because I think it'll
was?
be briefer. I went to drag bingo, which is like where it's typically at a bar. When I went, it was at a brewery, and it's like facilitated by a drag queen. We got daubers, which was fun. That was the first time I had used one of those, I think. But I was not so crazy about the experience. First of all, I didn't really engage in the community. Like, I was there with friends and everyone was like doing their own thing at their tables. But my main gripe with drag bingo is that I felt like I was like shh, like I'm trying to like hear the numbers, you know, like people were like having fun and talking at the brewery and I was like, I can't hear what their caller is calling.
How many like cards did you have?
Just like one front and back. And there wasn't even like an option. Like, I don't even think we bought in. I think the drag queen just like passed the cards out. So there was like not really a financial incentive. And
Yeah, that sounds kind of boring.
I was like, can everyone shut up so that I can play my bingo, please? It reminds me of something, you know, Lainey Ozark, that fashion girly that we like. I was watching one of her videos recently and she was saying how she doesn't really like when things are doing two things at once, like specifically with respect to trends. It was like this pair of ballet flats that had like metal studs all over them.
I love
And
that.
she was, they were cute, but I agreed with her because she was like, these are cute, but it's kind of two things at once. And I feel that way about drag bingo. I think I should just go to a bingo hall and separately go to a drag show because my bingo mind wants it to be silent. I want to have the tools I need. I want to be locked in and kind of in like a very internal, like looking for my numbers headspace. And when I'm at a drag show, I want to be like drinking and letting loose and having fun and yelling and like laughing and applauding. And none of those things are really like conducive to a strong game of bingo to me. So it's funny that they even combined them. But
also,
yeah, I'm
like,
not a super fan.
It doesn't seem like it would give much room for the drag queen to perform. Like, how much can they really do at bingo?
Yeah, I feel like she was just like giving a little flair to every call. But
like she's just like, it's B12, honey.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was kind of like a lose-lose.
Drag bingo, I learned when I was doing some research, was actually invented in Seattle. So that's probably why there is so
Really?
much around you. Yeah.
Yeah, there was when I was looking for another bingo experience to go to, it was like all drag bingo.
And it was like probably like mostly young people there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And was it just like you were trying to get like a line?
Yeah. You were trying, there weren't any like bonus games or like,
Yeah.
it was very like basic bingo.
Yeah.
And no, everyone was just being way too loud for me to focus on my card. It was so annoying. My friends
On
kept
the
trying to
one
talk
number
to
you had
me.
to find.
People kept trying to make small talk while I was trying to play bingo.
So funny.
And I had this beverage that was like clouding my ability to look for my numbers, pissing me off. Tell me about your bingo experience. I think it
Okay.
was different.
Very different. Yeah. So I went to a VFW hall in Marietta, Georgia. I saw that they do bingo 7 days a week there, which
Okay.
I was like, wow, okay. And it was about a 25-minute drive. I did notice initially that there was security there. So
Okay.
I was clocking that people were going to be taking this seriously and there was real money on the line.
Was there security like as you were going in, or there were like people watching the bingo playing
No,
to make
no,
sure that
no.
no funny business
Just
happened?
like someone outside, and I had read like ahead online. There was like it was like there's security there, which
Like, don't bring your gun.
no, I think it's like if you win the jackpot, like someone might try to rob you.
Whoa.
Well, that
Okay.
was my interpretation because it seemed very specific, like to the bingo. Like it wasn't like, oh, this VFW hall always has security. It was like in the bingo ads. It was like security present.
Yeah. So, like, rest assured, you'll get your money.
Yeah.
That's like exciting and scary. Immediately, the stakes are way higher. There was no security in my drag bingo.
Also, the other thing is, I didn't really understand the timing. So it said it's a first ball drops at 7:30. I got there at like 7:15. I think I was like even like texting you in the car before, like I was not in a rush. And then I was like quickly realized I should have gotten there earlier to get all of my ducks in a row.
How many cards did you go in with, like an expectation of how many cards you were gonna have?
No, I was like, I'm just gonna go in and like ask them what I should do as a first timer. Own the fact that I'm a beginner. So
But then you get in there and they're like, go, go, go. We've got to get going. What are you doing? It's 7:15. You're practically an hour late. Get your ass in here. The security has a gun pointed at you. You're running.
yeah, exactly. No, everyone was super nice. I'll say that. So I went in and I was also just like, wow, I'm so glad I came here. Like this is totally like the bingo scene, which is what I really wanted to experience. So I took a look at the rules. I saw that it was cash only. I didn't have cash. I walked up to the two lovely ladies who were like the check-in like cashier people, and they were like such icons. Like everyone there had the most deep southern accent. They are like these older ladies with like short hair but like a ton of makeup.
They're beat.
They're fully beat down and they're super sweet. They're calling me honey. They point me to the ATM. Well, first I asked them like
they're so sweet as they point me to the ATM.
As they say, get your money. I was like, how many should I buy? And they recommended as a first timer to get 6 cards.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that they said you'll be too bored with less and more will be too overwhelming. And that was $16. So I went to the ATM. It didn't work. I told them, they sent me to another ATM, which was in an area with a bunch of slot machines.
Okay.
So I got my money, purchased my cards. Okay, and by now there's probably like 60 to 100 people seated, but this is like a really big hall. So it's still like pretty spread out.
Are people facing each other, or is it like rows? Like you're taking a test?
It's rows,
almost?
like everyone's taking a test. They're all facing forward.
That's nice. That's like when I was at drag bingo, I was trying to face away from the people I was with so I could focus, but it was like everything was frustrating that purpose and making me try to like it was forced socialization.
Right. They were like, do not keep your eyes on your own test.
Right. Like imagine taking the SAT, but you have a beer in front of you and 3 close friends across the table.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
And so like everyone's facing forward. Like the caller is on like a raised platform, and there are like TV screens where they're gonna put the numbers.
Oh, that's
And
awesome. So now we have screens too. So you really can like lock in.
yeah, and then I've also noticed that most people have not only like way more cards than me, but they also have like a digital like a
Like an iPad.
tablet, yeah, thing where they're
Mm-hmm.
also playing additional bingo on there. I was
Wait, they're playing
confused.
separate games or they have like the numbers on there?
No, I was confused about this, but I ended up asking. I was like, because at first I was like, oh, maybe it's just hard for them to see because most of these people are old. But
Mm-hmm.
they were like, no, that's like you can buy a bunch of cards and then you can also play It's just like more chances. Like you have more cards digitally. So
Are they
like,
cards that correspond to the numbers that are being played in person, or they're just like
yes.
separately on
No, no, no.
bingo.com? Like,
No, no, no.
well,
It's
it's
like
bingo time.
it's like part of the same game. Like they'll like they'll like enter whatever the number was, and then it will
Okay.
like automatically mark a bunch of digital cards additionally.
So this is interesting. All they have to do is enter the number. They don't have to look on the digital cards.
That's correct, but I don't think anyone was only doing digital. Like everyone that had that also had a bunch of physical cards.
Okay, we're going to return to this later,
Okay.
but please continue.
On the vibe and the scene, I wanted to talk a little bit about that because it was, I guess, close to what I expected in terms of like age. Like it was mostly like retired people, I would say. There were some people that were maybe more like in their 40s or 50s. And then there was like one child. I saw that you had only had to be 6 or over. So I did see a kid. And there was like one like young baddie behind me, but she was with her mom, I think. And then
Okay.
I feel like it was like pretty equal racially in between like black and white. And also it's just like nice to and refreshing to be in a space sometimes that's like so not sceney. Like I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so just like American heartland. Like I guess
Right.
it's its own scene, but it's like nobody there would have ever even understood what it would mean to like bleach your eyebrows.
Right. They were like, "Oh, honey, you have a condition." That's so
Yeah.
interesting how your albinism only goes to your eyebrows.
Exactly. Like it's so not hipster, not even like chuggy. It's just like is, you know?
It just is nothing.
And it's like I've been obviously around like older people, but usually like where we're from, it's like old hippies, and it's like so not that.
Right. It's
Definitely.
sceneless. It's a
It's
scene that is sceneless.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
really nice.
All these people living in the moment, just
Mhm.
playing bingo. There's
Yeah.
no.
They
it's
don't know what
not- this is
coastal
something-
grandma means.
This is. I don't know if we've talked about this on the pod before, but it's like not for brand building at all.
Yeah.
Have we talked about brand building before as like sometimes you do things
just for your
and
brand.
and like sometimes you do things because you also like them, but a lot of the time there's like it's kind of in the middle. Like it's
Mhm.
like brand
Okay.
building would be like having a dumb phone, kind of. Like I was researching getting an iPod the other day, and I was like, this would be really cool to like have my music separate from everything, but also it's so brand to have like a iPod in your carry.
Or like wired headphones.
Wired headphones is such a good example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so there's no brand building happening there.
No. Okay, so I've purchased my cards, but then they're like, "Do you have a dauber?" And I was like, "No." And so then they point me across the hall to this woman selling daubers. So the dauber is what you use to mark your card. Kaya mentioned, very fun. I chose
So
purple.
fun.
It was like maybe like $4, and then
And it makes a little circular stamp.
Yes.
I feel like we interacted with daubers as kids in a non-bingo environment, but since then I have had no occasion to use a dauber outside of a bingo.
It was definitely like a familiar sensation, but I don't know why we were using them.
I feel like to like decorate stuff.
Just to like put dots on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like for when we were so young that we couldn't make circles.
Yeah. And then when I was there, she was like, I was so confused. She was like, do you also want to buy like the Bonanza game or whatever? And I was like,
And you're like, lady, my head is spinning. I'm here 15 minutes early. I don't have any
20
money.
minutes too late.
Which is 20 minutes too late. I don't have any money. I don't know what a fucking dauber is. And no, I don't want any of your bullshit Bonanza game. I'm just here for my Gen Z podcast.
Exactly. And I was like,
No one's even mentioned my eyebrows. I've been here for 15 minutes and no one's mentioned my fucking eyebrows.
Well, I filled them in. I wasn't going to
okay.
go there with bleached brows, but
Got it.
So she was like, it's $3 for 4 cards and you win $100 for the Bonanza or whatever. And I was like, do I have to do it? And she was like, no, you don't have to do it. I was like, well, what do I do if I don't get it? And she was like, just sit there.
So this is like an extra game.
Yeah, it's an extra game, but at the time, like, I didn't get that. I was just like, so I like, it's like either I'm playing bingo or I'm not. Like, I thought if I didn't buy it, like, I wasn't playing at all, but whatever.
You're like nervously looking at the security, being like, I have to get the Bonanza.
So I bought the Bonanza. So I would say,
Gun
like,
to your head. You're shakily giving her cash.
yeah.
You buy the Bonanza.
I would say, like, overall with like the ATM fee and everything, I probably spent like $25. I sit down and she's like, Teresa will help you. Like, she's a pro. So I sit down next to Teresa. Teresa is a pro. Let me just say that. Like, Queen
How many
Teresa. Cards? Okay, I was trying to figure that out because so there's like, for each game, it's like you have like a new sheet of cards. So I had like 6 cards for the first game, rip it off. Then I had another 6. For each game, for her, she was turning pages of cards.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was
it's like multiply, like there's multipliers. Yeah. It's exponential.
The limit is infinity. It's approaching infinity.
Did she have an iPad?
And she had an iPad. So I kind of did the math on this. I'm going to say she had 24 books. So that's $50 plus the electronic machine plus maybe 16 of the Bonanzas. So I would say she at least spent like $62, but maybe more. And then there's 6 games where each of them you could win $100, and then the last one is $1,000.
Okay.
So there's money on the line, but
and
still.
There's like 100 people in there.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, you don't know how to do this at all? Like, let me help you.
And so she's like, okay, you have no idea how to mark a number on a card? I can show you.
No, but okay, I was so surprised because I thought it was going to be like literally so dumb, so easy. And I was extremely confused because they had, by this point, they were starting and they had a pattern on the screen and it was like a line down the middle. So an N, I guess the whole N column was filled, and then like the 4 corners. And so they were like, you mark that pattern. So I like got my sheets and I started marking that pattern.
You're like, I guess bingo on N. You get shot. I imagine that if you call a fake bingo, it's like off with her head immediately.
Oh my God, I was so scared to do that. And she was like,
bingo.
So I had done that on like my first card, and she was like, no, like as the numbers are called, then you find whether it's in that pattern and then you mark it.
What? But isn't it like, I don't understand.
Like, okay, for example, like say they called, I'm keep using B12. Say they called B12 and you have it on your card, but it's not in either of the corners. Like it's not in the first or it's not in the last. If it's in one of the middles, you don't mark it because you only get bingo if you mark that pattern, the 4 corners and the middle.
What the hell?
Right? So
they're like, for this game, it's like, is there like a name for it? Like it's like the eye on the chessboard, and that's like the 4 corners and the
they
like
have
like
names
snake eyes or like whatever.
Kind of, yeah. I got that vibe. They didn't say what the pattern was for this one, or like I missed it because it still is all chance. I wouldn't say it was like intellectually difficult, but it was very mentally stimulating. Like,
Okay.
and at first overstimulating. Like, they were calling it, and by the time I checked everything, they were calling the next number. Like, I didn't have any extra time. So I was like, I'm glad that I'm not getting more cards than or more books than this.
Yeah.
Teresa was super helpful. And she also had a setup where she like taped all of the cards to the table. And she had
so
like
she can be
multiple
whipping them like really fast.
Yeah, and she
Like
had
the pages are
multiple
flying.
She had multiple colored daubers. She lent me one after I messed up so I could tell which ones were real.
Did you practice shouting bingo before you went in, like how you were going to say it?
No.
How would you say it?
Bingo!
Oh my God. Yeah, that was horrible. Definitely practice next time. That was so like rushed.
Yeah, because they go really fast. Like,
Is there anything about like saying bingo before someone else does?
no,
If it's
so
like in the same...
well, yes, multiple people can win. But okay, I also didn't realize that like they do it until someone calls bingo. Like, I thought there was like a set number of calls. So I was really confused by that. But it is kind of nice because it's like guaranteed someone wins. Like, it's definitely better odds than like buying scratch tickets.
Yeah, that's true.
But you do have to spend a lot of money to have good chances.
Okay,
And
say bingo like you're Teresa.
bingo.
Say bingo like you're the 6-year-old.
Bingo.
Say bingo like you're the security guard and you just bought a card just to see, like you're on the job.
Oh, bingo. Oh, now you say bingo. How would you say it?
Bingo.
Oh, very cool.
Like I want to savor my bingo. Like I'm there because I want to say it's kind of like Yahtzee. Like Yahtzee, you know, like part of the joy is in the exclamation to me.
But Teresa was
Bingo!
stressing me out because she was like, if you have bingo, like say it right away. Like, don't.
She's like banging on your desk. Bingo, bingo.
Because so they'll like whoever shouts bingo, it would usually be like two people at once, and then they would like go and check their cards, and then they'd be like,
then they'd go wrestle.
And then they would immediately move on to the next game. But Teresa got bingo on the first game, so that was exciting for me to witness.
That is really... And she said it like how?
Bingo. It was very normal for her. She was like there every day. She had a bingo bag. She said, oh, my friend Peggy normally sits right there, but she's gone right now. It's funny because like, it definitely seemed like people were like making friends and community there, but like during the game, it's like very not social. Like,
yeah,
it's just how you wanted
it must be like before.
Yeah. So I talked to this woman there that won the jackpot, and I noticed that she also had a bingo hoodie, and she was like younger. She was like probably like, I don't know, an older millennial.
So she won $1,000.
Yeah. But who knows how much she spent.
Yeah.
And so
she said bingo like bingo, like she was just relieved to get some of her money back.
Do you come to bingo every day? I go to bingo every day. I'm a bingo fanatic. I got to different states.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's the furthest you've gone?
Vegas.
Nice. Are the winnings big out there?
In Vegas, they got $1 million bingo. They play 3 times a year.
Wow. Okay. And when did you get into this?
I got into bingo about 20 years ago.
What got you into it?
My friend, she was an older lady, and I thought I was too young to play, and I hit the first time I went. So,
okay, yeah, I was
strong ever since.
I was thinking if I hit tonight, I would definitely be coming back. Yeah.
So, we take a bingo bus on Sundays, and we go to Steele, Alabama, and they got like $20,000, $30,000 games.
Oh wow! And so, have you met a lot of people through the community?
Yeah, I met a whole lot of people. I love the bingo people. They're friendly. So,
Yeah, everyone seems super nice. Yeah. I can come back. Yeah, I think I will. I gotta bring some people.
How do you like bingo? Show you around to some more bingo.
Okay, awesome.
In Georgia, they just don't pay as much as the state.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, it's a bingo a newspaper up there, and it'll give you all the bingos in Georgia. Tell you all the days they play Monday through Sunday.
Okay, for the listeners, Yarden just held up the bingo newspaper, but it said, does it say ghost on the front in Dop? Someone has scrawled ghost in dauber, like a final message. It's purple. Is that related to bingo?
Donna just wanted to try out the dauber, I think.
Okay. That's cool. It's like a tag. Ghost.
Okay. But like what I was going to say from the interview is like people would definitely be bonding on that bus.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Like party bus.
Party bus drinks on whoever won $20,000.
No, literally.
I guess I didn't really think about how it was gambling before.
Me neither. This is something I was really thinking about as I was doing research. It's like so gambling.
That's why I'm like, it's crazy that a kid could go. Because I'm like, how is that allowed?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it's like their guardian gets to take the money.
I would be pissed. I'd be like, that's my money.
That's my money, Mom.
Bingo! That's my money, Mom.
The security guard like
rips the cash out of the kid's hands.
Yeah.
It's a whole
But
scene.
It is like subject to gambling laws and jurisdictions.
Okay, so that's why you can like make a lot more in Alabama.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out whether that part of it was like sad to me because like clearly a lot of the people there were addicted. And like you definitely could spend a lot of money.
It seems like one of the better ways to gamble, for sure. It's less sad than slot machines. It's less sad than buying scratch tickets. It's like pretty equivalent, I feel, to like playing poker or something, but maybe less strategy and a little bit less socialization, like socializing, but also probably less drinking. So
yeah, there was no alcohol there.
Kind of evens out. It's kind of like poker.
Yeah. And it's like if it's getting people out of the house that would just be like at home.
Yeah, no,
TV.
I'm pro bingo. There's nothing wrong with gambling. This is like
hot takes from Kaya. I'm gonna clip that for sure.
I mean, it's fun for a reason. And we gamble like, okay, if gambling is so bad, let's shut down the stock market.
Right. But like it definitely can like financially ruin people.
Yeah, but like can bingo?
That's what I was trying to figure out too.
The cards are pretty affordable. I feel like there's a limit to how much you can physically do. I mean, the online aspect is a little bit like
that's
the
true.
limit does not exist, but
you are limited by your ability to search the cards. And I wonder, I bet you can't do like unlimited on the digital, but I am curious about it.
Yeah, I have a story about that.
But yeah, on the refreshments piece, because there's no alcohol, but I thought you would like this. There was like a 15-minute intermission where you could get snacks. I never even found where the snack area was. It was too big there. But one thing that you could get was a root beer float. And the baddie behind me got a root beer float.
That's awesome.
I was
sounds
like,
so fun.
I know. Which I thought that was so funny too, because
sticky
like,
hands on the dauber.
And like root beer float is like, I always make jokes from that one reel, you know, that's like, can I get you anything? Like when you're at someone's house and they're like, a root beer float. But I'm like, that is actually just like one of the basic options there.
That's awesome. It's like heaven. Can I get you anything? We have root beer floats.
Yeah. Also, back to my game. By the end of the first game, I was like, okay, I got this. So like the first few games were pretty fun. One of them was like caller's choice for the patterns. for the pattern, and it was like
Okay.
a check mark plus corners. So
Fun.
yeah,
Okay.
that's fun. And people
What
were
would
like,
your
"Go
choice
off,
be?"
Diane."
My choice would probably be like a K.
A swastika.
Do
I was just
not
like,
cut that.
I was just like, what could you make from just like squares?
Intrusive thoughts. Your first time being a caller, you're like, swastika. No, 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 no. I didn't say that. I don't want that. Before you can stop it, everyone in a chorus, go off, Diane. And now you're like, this is like a nightmare.
That's a nightmare. I'm like, fuck. Oh no,
Having
not
stress
that.
dreams about asking for swastika pattern when you're the caller.
Yeah, damn it.
Damn it. Forget I said
So
that.
not a swastika. I literally can't think of anything.
Okay, so anything other than a swastika.
Okay, well, some of them were like roving.
No, Den, just think of one. Come on, say we're not moving on.
No. I'm trying to tell you
Oh,
that
okay, yeah.
one thing you can do is like roving. Like it would be like a block of 9, but it can be anywhere.
Oh, that's complicated. So in that case, you have to keep marking all of them because you don't know where it's going to end up.
Right.
Cool. How do people do it with the electronic cards?
Girl, I don't know.
Okay.
'Cause I was not offered one. They were like, you don't need that.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Okay, so name something that's not a swastika. Name a woman.
A square.
That's how you say it. Uh-huh. Sure, honey.
Guys.
It would be funny to do like a cross.
A cross.
I think the funniest one you could do would be like
a penis.
Or like a little SpongeBob.
I want to try to make some now.
I guess it's only 5 by 5.
It's hard.
Yeah, a penis would be pretty funny.
But really hard. I don't know if there's enough
6-year-olds
space.
playing. I think you could indicate it. It could just be like 2 dots on the top and then one line all the way down the end. So you have like I1, G1, and then, but that's not how they are, I know. But it's like the top and then all the way down the end.
Wait, what? What are the 2 dots? Like,
The balls, Den. The balls. Wait, sorry. What are the 2 dots? I just can't stop thinking about swastikas.
I was thinking like, oh, you're saying like at the bottom 2 dots?
No, at the top.
Why? Oh, because it's pointing down.
Yeah, like the way that a penis is with gravity.
Sure, I guess. I was thinking, I feel like normally
sure, if that's how you think
when you like
goes.
draw a penis, you draw it like up.
No, you don't. You draw it down. What are you? I have never seen a drawn penis with balls at the bottom.
Now I can't like think of the last time I've seen one or drawn one.
Dude, you're insane. That is not. You're describing like balls at the bottom is giving like balloon animal like. Dude, balls at the bottom. What?
Listeners, weigh in when you draw a penis. Is it balls at the bottom or the top? Comment on our latest Instagram post: balls bottom
Balls
or
at the
balls
bottom.
top.
Yeah, balls bottom, balls top. Dent has swastika brain. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
God, now I'm not gonna be able to cut that because it's too integrated throughout.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Jewish. Okay, so the first
extended pause.
The first few games were fun, and then after the intermission, they were less fun because it was like not patterns anymore. It was like, well, the roving 9 was one of them, but like that wasn't that fun because you mark everything. And then like the bonanza game was like just all odds and all evens, trying to get a cover all. And then like the jackpot is a coverall, so trying to get everything. So at that point I was really wishing I had bought more books because I was like had a lot of downtime.
Right, and the game was going on really long, I'm imagining.
The whole thing was like 2 hours.
Okay, but the jackpot, I'm assuming, was like if it's a coverall, like it takes a long time to cover.
But it was
every
progressive
score, right?
from the last one. So the one before it was the roving 9, and then you like kept your dots, and then like
okay,
yeah,
cool.
So yeah, I didn't win, but that was my bingo.
Bingo. That sounds like fun. I'd like to go next time I visit you.
We should, yeah.
And get root beer floats.
Yes.
Sounds awesome.
But definitely a good solo activity. Like you can totally go by yourself.
Did you get close? Like at any point were you like, I might win?
Yeah. But that's what makes it so addicting is like you're always like close.
Yeah. Okay. Well, your story brings me to something I wanted to talk about, which was a really funny Reddit post that I found about bingo. And it brings into question this like electronic situation that you're describing. So I found this Reddit post on r/legal advice, which is not where I thought I was going to be ending up for my bingo research, but this post. I'll do like kind of a abbreviated version. This person says, friend came up with idea to increase odds of winning at bingo. What could go wrong? And then this is the body of the post. Going to be a bit cagey about the details because I don't know how much trouble, if any, he might be in. My friend has been having money difficulties recently, and his grandparents took him to bingo on their dime. They won a couple $100, and as he's an analytical kind of guy, he started thinking of ways to beat the system. So immediately, like, this is this person, right? There's no friend.
Right. Yeah.
He's an analytical kind of guy. This is small town bingo, fewer than 300 people per night, which to me that sounds like a lot of people, but
yeah,
3 times a week the jackpot is 2,000 with less than 5,000 in total prizes distributed per night, but hot balls can sometimes build until $3,000 to $4,000 additional. So at first he basically says he comes up with this idea to just buy more bingo cards, which is like, okay, wow, that's innovative.
That's also just like you're spending more money. That's exactly what they want you to do.
That's exactly what they want. But if you increase your share of the cards, obviously you're going to have like better odds of winning. But then he goes on to say, this alone isn't enough to guarantee a positive return. There are human limits, and even competing against the geriatrics that make up the majority of the bingo hall, he can't play enough more than them to make a significant difference. Like he's going up against Teresa's. Logically, the simplest solution is to surpass those human limits. And luckily, bingo cards are all very standardized. So this is like the meat of it. It's very easy to OCR the numbers on the cards, and my friend wrote a tiny little phone app to do so from pictures. Theoretically, he could buy 100+ jackpot cards at the start of the night, because jackpot has the best odds of winning. Mark each card with a number, spend the night taking photos of the cards and OCRing them into the app, and then when the jackpot game comes around, type the numbers as they're called into the app, which would tell him which card of his hundreds was the winner. Then he could sort through the pile, draw that card, daub the numbers, and hand it in to collect his winnings. And he goes on to say, there's nothing that explicitly forbids this in the rules. In his mind, this whole thing is written in third person, which is so goofy. This is functionally identical to, say, bringing a large group of people in and just securing a higher share of the jackpot game cards for your group. Then he says, my friend has wrote the app and tested it and it works. But he then came to a startling realization the first night he attempted to put his plan into action. The system the bingo hall uses doesn't have any way of discriminating what night the cards were printed for. In other words, you could buy a card on a Tuesday and play it on a Friday. Clever readers will realize the same thing my friend did. His phone app means he doesn't actually need to play the cards until he knows for a fact that it's a winner. So for every card he buys and scans into the app, it's an investment that can be cashed in at any future point once it becomes a winner. So now he could actually collect like thousands of cards and play them all simultaneously every time, and then only actually play them when the winner hits.
Okay.
So he floats this idea in the r/legal advice subreddit, and I think there's a lot of bingo people flock to this. And basically, like across the board, everyone is like, you're gonna get banned. Like, don't do this. Fuck you. If your friend wants to do this, he's gonna get banned. Yeah, he just keeps arguing with them the whole way down. But I thought this was kind of funny. And there was a lot of commentary about the fact that an electronic counter used to mark the cards will be just as forbidden by the rules as like using, because I guess a lot of bingo card places have rules against using like impermanent markers for this reason. Like
you
have
can't
to
like
stop.
Save your things and
Yeah.
keep coming back.
You have to like mark them in the moment. You can't put like coins or something on them and then like save the card for later if it doesn't hit. Yeah. So this was kind of interesting and funny to me. But what's weird is this seemed like so controversial to me and like obviously something you shouldn't do because it like completely takes the spirit of the game out. And also, as we've discussed, it is gambling. So this is like basically cheating at gambling. And I feel like people get really mad when you do that. But this does kind of sound like the electronic thing that people are doing at your bingo.
Yeah, there must be just a set number on that. I don't know, because otherwise you could just buy like.
Yeah, I honestly like. I don't really see why they have the electronic thing at all. Like, I feel like it just takes the game out of it.
Yeah, when I was asking Teresa about it, she was like, "Yeah, the electronic's pretty fun. So you can do like some electronic and some with physical." I'm like, that doesn't seem fun at all. Like, I want to search and I want to daub.
Yeah. I want to search. I want to daub. I want to rob. Remember that movie?
I want to rob. Yeah.
I want to rob.
I want to daub.
I want to daub.
At a certain point with the like $100 games, it doesn't make sense to spend. Like, Teresa's already barely making a profit when she won $100. Like, you don't really want to buy more than whatever she bought because you're. But I guess at like a big game where you could win like 20K.
20,000. Yeah. Plus, like all the money that you're putting in, I feel like you're trying to win, but also you're kind of paying for like the time and having fun.
Yeah.
But if you're just paying for an electronic card, there's like no additional fun in my mind. So,
yeah. That is crazy though. That is really funny. I think the whole like, the fact that he built an app for this, it's like there are definitely like easier ways for you to make money considering the skills that you have.
Like, my friend really needs to pay his rent, and this is the only way he can.
And he knows how to build apps.
These geriatric people, and he knows how to build apps. Also, he has already done this. It sounds like. So why is he? I'm gonna be cagey about the details because I don't know how much trouble my friend might already be in. He's definitely like already won at bingo doing this.
I feel like it'd be so sus if you're just like going through all the cards, like taking pictures and uploading them.
Yeah, I feel like to do his plan, you would have to buy a bunch of cards and then just sit there like a dummy and not do anything with the cards. Or you could like mime like being super flustered and not daubing anything. And then you take all the cards home, you OCR them at home, and then you bring them back and you start.
You could buy the cards and
not even go in.
Well, yeah, like not sit down, just leave.
But security then, like, just chases you into the parking lot.
What if that's the night you would won?
Right. You get there really early, buy all the cards, go into the bathroom, OCR all the cards in the bathroom. Yeah.
And for people that don't know, OCR is like digitally reading the information from the document and.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even really know. I just know it's something that like Adobe does when I search for something in a PDF. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about online briefly is, did people at your bingo have any funny or raunchy calls for certain numbers? Does that ring any bells?
No.
I think this might be more of a thing in the UK based on my online research, but it seems like there's a cultural difference here. In the US, bingo calls generally tend to be like very straightforward, like B12, and like you wouldn't even say that's a vitamin, you just say B12. But in the UK, like a lot of the British counterparts to these calls are very raunchy and goofy, which I think is really fun. And something about it is very reminiscent of the Rocky Horror calls, like a community that has like a vocal expression associated with the activity. So I wrote some down and then we could try to come up with some of our own because I think a lot of these are a little dated too. So some of them are like rhymes and some of them are like about how the numbers look. So 22 is swans because they're supposed to, so they'd be like swans 22.
So is the caller saying it?
The caller is saying it, although some of them have call and response. So for example, meal for two with a hairy view 69, then everyone goes nice.
That's so funny. I cannot imagine that happening at the bingo hall I went to.
Yeah, it's definitely a different vibe.
I mean,
'Cause
that
then
would be
people are
great for
talking.
drag bingo.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like the drag queen I saw didn't do any of this. She just said like 14, honey, like you said. 22 is swans. 77 is two dead swans. Two fat ladies, 88. Grandma's getting frisky, number 60.
Why?
I think it just rhymes.
Oh.
Legs, 11. I like that one because it's like simple. I did find some from the US. This is from a Utah game. If you want to marry Joseph Smith, you've got to be 14.
Oh. That's crazy.
Age I say my partner looks 22. Age my partner actually looks 76.
I like that.
And this one, yeah, it's not a tumor, it's benign. So that's some of the ones. Can we think of any that come to mind? Something with 6-7.
Oh God. Once Gen Alpha gets in the bingo halls, they're gonna be a terror.
It's gonna be a pandemic of this arm motion.
Yeah. 6, 7. I feel like all of the like King's Cup rules are super easy ones. Like you could just be like 4 whores.
Your first time as a caller at the Atlanta hall. Yeah, I'm gonna do swastika of 4 whores.
Would never get this job.
Yeah, that's a good one. 4 whores. That's nice.
Our
And what's the
humor here
number?
at Not My Scene is just kind of edgy. It's for fans of Family Guy.
Yeah, if you like Come Town and Family Guy, you might like Not My Scene.
11 could be Twin Towers.
Twin Towers. 11. I like that. Yeah, what are the most offensive bingo calls we can make? I don't want to say any others.
Oh gosh, so it's only me getting canceled.
I mean, 11 Twin Towers is pretty good. I'm just like racking my brain for national tragedies.
Coronavirus 19. Okay, maybe that's enough.
Yeah, I think that's enough. That's enough.
The other funny thing about Teresa was like she was so helpful, but like clearly she wanted to do her own thing because once she saw that I was like set up, she put in headphones. Like,
Me at drag bingo.
could it be your scene?
I feel like real bingo could definitely be my scene. Yeah. Drag bingo is not my scene, but you have sold me. This sounds really fun. I'd like to
Yeah.
go. I have to find Seattle.
Too hipster.
Too hipster.
sceney. You probably
need
just
to
have
find-
to drive like out to a suburb.
Yeah. I'll look into it. Find a Rotary Club somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? You had the real experience. Could it be your scene?
I think it could. I don't think I'm gonna make it my scene. I don't.
It's kind of like, do I want to pick up a new vice?
Right. Yeah, maybe like if we all started playing when we're retired, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. I would be super down for that.
But I'd also
sounds
like
like fun.
go again randomly if I wanted something to do with a friend and get root beer floats.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Cool. Well, we have one scenester to read.
Love. Let's talk about it. This is a Seaster submission from Mia. Thanks, Mia. Mia says, "Hey gals, just listened to the Luddite episode and wanted to send some thoughts. The interview with August was inspiring and made me think about my phone and social media addiction in a new way. I must be riding the trend because one of my New Year's resolutions this year has been to delete Instagram for the first 10 days of each month. It's been an interesting experiment. Every single month, I go through withdrawal where I'm fighting the urge to download the app multiple times a day and also opening and closing other boring apps mindlessly. I totally do that too, Mia. And then by day 6, I realize I'm not thinking about it nearly as much. I truly think it takes at least 10 days to curb an addiction. Probably longer, TBH, since I'm still excited to see the updates on the 10th, but noticeably easier the more time passes. The saddest part of this experience is how after 10 days when I log back on, there are usually only a few posts that I actually care about that I missed, and I can still see them. So it's just so obvious that it is a complete waste of my life to be opening the app more than once a day, and that the majority of the time I spend on there isn't even seeing content from my friends, which is the excuse everyone uses to keep it around. Anyway, another moderate approach to getting offline that one could try. Another thing I do is refuse to get any new social media apps beyond Instagram in the hopes that when Instagram dies, like Facebook has died, I can be set free for good. Ha! Thanks for sharing this content. I think it helped me to see that I'm not alone in my desire to break free from the hold of my smartphone. You are not alone, Mia.
No, I think that approach is so interesting.
It's fun. I feel like August wouldn't agree with it because it's kind of like
No.
self-harming. It's like letting yourself get back on the wagon a little bit.
Yeah, I'd have to go through it each month of like being like, oh, I want to re-download.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there will get a point, Mia, where you just don't re-download because it feels so good to be off.
Yeah. Or like maybe it could transition into something eventually where it's like you just have like a day a month where you are on it.
Yeah.
I've been experimenting with it more since our episode. I did the thing where you turn your ski pass or any kind of NFC chip into is it NFC? Is that the right word? I don't know. I feel like that's close to non-fungible token. You just take some kind of chip and then you use it for the Focus app with a Q, FOQOS, and it bricks your phone. And I feel like it's really effective. I like don't think about it for the most part. And then when I do unbrick, I'll just be like standing by the fridge where the thing is. And it's like Mia said, there's like one thing I'm interested in maybe. And I'm like so much less compelled to like watch stories or like reels or influencers that I don't know. I'm like not as interested in their content. But I will say I kind of fell off the wagon yesterday. I like unbricked and then I went to bed. And then in the morning, I was just back to my usual hijinks, like scrolling for like an hour this morning. So I'm definitely not ready to like take the training wheels off, but I find it effective.
It's interesting that the brick is just like a chip that could be anything.
Yeah, it is such a ripoff. I feel like you guys, you don't need brick. The free app works so well. And if you don't have a chip, you can generate a QR code and print it and then just tape the QR code.
And just like put that on your fridge or something.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Are you also still doing the grayscale?
No, I'm just doing this. Although maybe I should start with grayscale because I will say the first few days I was doing this, I feel like I was just, instead of spending all my time on Instagram, I was spending all my time furiously texting group text. And maybe if it was in grayscale, I would like just be on my phone even less.
Yeah. So,
it still felt better though to be like communicating with people I know versus like just scrolling.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think texting is as bad. I have switched to grayscale since we last recorded because my friend Nick was visiting, shout out, and he had it on like 70% grayscale, which I didn't realize you could do. I thought it had to be all black and white.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, that's appealing. So I've been trying that. And I do feel like I'm like maybe on my phone just as much, but I'm like doing different stuff. Like I'm going to more like text-based apps, which is why I was scrolling Reddit so much and why I found Edgic.
Yeah, no, I blocked Reddit, and that's definitely been the hardest thing by far because I keep Googling stuff. I always add Reddit to the end of my search queries in Google. You don't have to do that anymore because now that Reddit is blocked, I'll just try searching stuff. Like, I don't want to go to Reddit, but it's still like the top result for anything you Google now is like the Reddit discussion of it.
Which is what I want.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Yeah, so I'm like, I feel like photo and video based content is a lot less appealing with it. Like, I'll like open Instagram and check for a little bit, but I don't want to like keep scrolling or like look at influencer stuff. But I'm like doing a lot of Substack, a lot of Reddit, like reading like articles and stuff, which I think is better.
I think it's better.
But maybe not the Reddit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, the Reddit decompression is so intense for me because I truly use it so much for so many like tiny decision points. Like, I'll like want to buy something and then I'll like try to look up Reddit, like, what do people recommend of this product? Or like, where should I have lunch in this neighborhood? Like, it's so bad. I use Reddit for just the most basic decision making. So
yeah, I guess we should learn to be like a little more self-sufficient. Yeah.
Independent thinkers.
Independent tankers. Okay.
Well, this is really fun. I'm like really interested in doing more bingo now that I've heard your experience with it.
Yeah, I recommend people check out their local bingo scene.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll meet an intergenerational friend.
Yay. All right, we'll see you next week.